All right, guys, we have a big show today because I just finished watching Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos on Emma Grede's podcast, and I have thoughts, like big thoughts, because the way Ted talks about the risk, the influence, and talent, it made me realize exactly why Meghan Markle is still at Netflix. I mean, he is a business person at the end of it all, right? But even after flop projects, even after all the bad press, and now with this shiny new Christmas special coming up, yeah, this isn't about holiday cheer. And I have to tell you all about it. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Star Chairs, and in this channel, we analyze videos and articles through the lens of PR. Now, you would think that Netflix would have learned by now, right? With everything that Meghan has failed at, but no, they haven't.
But also, I had Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, on this podcast, and she spoke a lot about the type of partnership that you've done with her, which is like outside of the show, the As Ever brand. So is that the type of, I'm just trying to think about the mix and the various different parts of the business. Is that more of the direction that you'll go in that will set you apart from the other platforms?
Yeah, look, I think what we have is cultural relevance. YouTube does too, but I would say that we have cultural relevance in a way that most outlets do not. Well, one thing we learned early with Meghan, she has remarkable influence. Remarkable. So when we did the documentary on her and Harry, when we ran the trailer announcing it, hundreds of people broke down every frame of the trailer. And we
know too. We're seeing this on a micro level right now.
and the $20 shoes that she got from a village that was making these shoes sold out all over the world. And the $1,500 blanket that was on the chair sold out all over the world. That's some
power. That's some influence.
She has incredible power and influence. She could put, and I think that for me, it's like, okay, well, how can we enable this to be a more holistic thing?
Yes.
So that's what that relationship.
But I mean, the consumer products business is a very different thing, right?
Yeah.
For you guys to go from having the data and understanding that a trailer with those two can do those type of numbers and then have the commercial impact to actually starting a brand, a physical
and by the way, and the documentary
product
itself was also one of the most watched documentaries we've ever had.
Wow.
So it was successful by every measure. Now, I don't think that you can have a consumer business if you don't have a consumer products business, if you don't have a great entertainment business. So that's got to come first. How do you enable things to go to the next level? And if you're thinking about legacy, you probably get more nervous about risk, and you definitely probably get your eye off the prize, which is, again, back to the end user.
Yes.
These people, they've got to be entertained. They've got to love what they're watching. They won't watch ads if they're not. They won't buy products if they're not. They won't stay a subscriber if they're not. So at the end of the day, the whole thing is, how do you bring incredible entertainment to people at scale when we have 700 million people who watch Netflix all the time?
And that's when it hit me after watching this podcast, because he is a business person. So I gathered that this is about Netflix turning Meghan into their ultimate influencer experiment, and Ted betting big that controversy sells, because Ted Sarandos, the guy running Netflix, doesn't see Meghan as a failure per se. He sees her as an experiment. Now, let me explain, because Ted Sarandos, in a nutshell, his background is no Ivy League, no silver spoon, video store clerk. Then throughout the years, he rose up and helped build Netflix on risk, intuition, data, and customer obsession. And that guy, he is obsessed with the end user experience. Now, his philosophy is what made it click for me, because he says, if the price is big enough, take unreasonable risks. And the other thing he said was, don't let the possibility of a downside kill the probability of an upside. Do you get where I'm going with this? Because Ted literally said on Emma Grede's podcast that Meghan has remarkable influence. And he wasn't talking about her ability to write dialogue or pitch a killer concept. No. He was talking about the fact that when their first docuseries trailer dropped, people dissected the heck out of it. And then he went on to explain that Meghan sat next to a $1,500 blanket and boom, it sold out worldwide. And same with the pair of $20 sandals that she was wearing. So with all this information that I'm gathering, Ted's perspective, Meghan is basically the human version of a Black Friday promo code. Love her or hate her, roll your eyes at her, doesn't matter, because he believes that as long as you click, that cash register will ring. And this is where this Christmas special comes in. Netflix isn't thinking, oh, Meghan is going to deliver a timeless holiday classic. Absolutely not. They're thinking, in my opinion, let's test whether her influence can actually move some product or more products, or I don't know, a wreath for Christmas. If a blanket sold out in 48 hours, can we make holiday money during this Christmas special, like selling out wreaths or, I don't know, cocoa mugs or cocoa mix, anything to make a trend? So I think, in my opinion, that Netflix is treating Meghan as an influencer experiment, because it's not about storytelling anymore. Meghan's deal at Netflix has shifted into influencer marketing, period. Netflix isn't betting on Meghan being the creator. They're betting on Meghan, the controversial cash magnet. Like, gimme. Because honestly, Netflix, all they really want is money. They don't really care about anything else. They just want to see, can we milk this cow? She is practically the risk-reward gamble game. Because here's the second piece. Ted Sarandos has this whole philosophy. If the price is big enough, take unreasonable risks. And Meghan, oh yeah, she is one heck of a risk. She has failed at almost every project that she's launched, from Archetypes on Spotify to Limonada podcast to the With Love Meghan cooking show that didn't even chart. She can't keep a consistent brand, and her products feel more like a vanity project than actual business. This is where I believe the gamble's at. Meghan's name guarantees headlines, which means every move she makes will dominate the press cycle. If she finally delivers one more hit, Netflix gets a monster win. Ted can walk into any boardroom and say, I tamed Meghan Markle into a cash cow. You are welcome. And if she flops again, well, it's practically just another Tuesday at Netflix. Because Netflix is used to canceling shows after one season, the downside barely dents them, but the upside, that could be massive for them. And I think this is another reason why they didn't say that they weren't going to pick up another season of As Ever. They're just waiting to see what's going to happen with this Christmas special. And here's where it gets even messier. While Meghan is out here being Netflix's human experiment, Harry's over in England quietly trying to crawl back to the royal family. We've seen the reports. He's meeting with King Charles. He's trying to mend fences. All right, and I want to read you this very short article because it says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle negotiations underway in boost to king. And it says the Duke of Sussex is said to be pushing to send his 2 children to school in the UK. According to reports, Prince Harry has serious reservations over American schools and wants Prince Archie, 6, and Lilibet, 4, to be educated in Britain. A friend of the Duke told the Daily Mail there is still some negotiation for Harry to have with Meghan over their children's schooling, with suggestions that the Duchess is not a fan of the idea of boarding schools. Archie and Lily, young age means attending boarding school across the pond is unlikely in the short term. It is believed, however, the king is said to be delighted by the idea of his grandchildren being educated in the UK. And that is the end of this article. You see how Harry is trying to look at a future in the UK while Meghan is still trying to sink with her boat. We see and she sees that her ship is sinking and she wants to sink with it, but Harry's kind of trying to throw life jackets out there and say, no, we can go to England. All right, let's continue. And he knows his future isn't in Hollywood. He knows Meghan's projects are failing and keep failing. So when the power couple's brand collapses, guess who will still might have a seat waiting for him back home? Maybe Harry, because he is still trying to get back in there. So when Meghan is stuck carrying the Netflix influencer experiment on her back, Harry is still planning his exit strategy. If her Christmas special tanks, and I believe it might, in my opinion, she risks being the Duchess who lost the palace, lost Hollywood, and maybe even her husband. But for Netflix, Meghan Markle isn't about art, storytelling, or cultural value. She's about risk and influence. They're testing to see if controversy can be converted into commerce. So what does this mean for Meghan? This is dangerous for Meghan because when you're treated as an experiment, you're disposable. And she is failing. So it's just going to come down, crashing down. And 2025 has been a horrible year for her. Meanwhile, over here, Harry is lobbying at Windsor Castle, polishing up silver just to try to get in the castle, back in. So when you see this Christmas special promoted, remember, Netflix isn't selling you a holiday cheer. They're selling you Meghan Markle, the influencer, the risk, the gamble, and they are expecting sales from this. This is, of course, my analysis and my conclusion from watching the Emma Grede podcast with Ted Sarandos, because he has a business mindset, but he loves risk and gamble. And Meghan is the biggest risk and gamble that you can take. All right, guys, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave and like my video. That way it helps me a lot in my analytics. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.